Welcome to the Memorizing Pharmacology podcast. I'm Tony Guerra, pharmacist and author of the Memorizing Pharmacology book series, bringing you mnemonics, cases, and advice for succeeding in pharmacology. Sign up for the email list at memorizingpharm.com to get your free suffixes cheat sheet or find our mobile-friendly, self-paced online pharmacology review course at residency.teachable.com/p/mobile. Let's get started with the show. I took number 3 because number 3 is so similar to maybe 5 or 6 on that part 1. And I'm just going to go over it like I would have solved the problem. So the first thing, I don't know if I would have read the whole question if I have just numbers at the end, and I know that I'm given the number of bottles. Put on my laser pointer here, and I'm given the number of bottles that I'm supposed to have. Well, if I have bottles, then I know I have to have some kind of conversion that gets me bottles over here, and there's only one conversion. 100 mLs is one bottle, so I'd put that there. And so now I have the bottles, but I have mLs, and I need to get rid of those. I only see 250 milligrams per 5 mLs, and I can put this upside down. 5 mLs over 250 is the same as 250 over 5. So I put 5 mLs over 250 milligrams to get rid of mLs. But now I have milligrams. Is there anything to get rid of the milligrams with? And I see 500 milligrams here. And this sometimes gives students trouble. 4 times a day for 10 days. If you think of it as 500 milligrams per dose, 4 doses a day for 10 days, that might be a little bit easier when it comes to conversions. So I put 500 milligrams, which is in one dose, and now I have the milligrams are gone, but now I have the doses. So 500 milligrams from one dose. How many doses per day? 4 doses per day. And then I run into trouble because there are 3 10 days, 7 days, and 5 days parts where I would need to know, okay, well, which of those is right? So now I might read the question slowly and carefully through to better understand after I'd set it up. And I would never do the math ahead of time. I always set everything up first before I even attempt the math. So the question reads, number 3, you receive a prescription for a 76-year-old patient for phenoxymethylpenicillin, 250 milligrams per 5 mLs oral solution. 500 milligrams 4 times a day for 10 days. You inform the patient that due to the medication's short life of 7 days, once it is prepared, you will fulfill part of the prescription and supply the remainder at a later date. The patient agrees to take enough for 5 days today and will call back for the remainder. What is the correct number of 100 ml prepared bottles that you would be supplying today? And what you would put maybe in your own head or to write down would be versus total. So what I would do is I would actually calculate both of them to make sure that you didn't get stuck in that trap, because that's what it is. It's asking you which of those should you put here. Is it the 5, the 7, or the 10 to get rid of this day? And the correct number of bottles you'll be supplying today would be 5 days. And if we do our multiplication, and I personally would get rid of the 500 and 250 by putting a 2 here and a 1 here, so I could do it in my head. 5 times 4 times 2 times 5 makes 200, so 40 times 2 makes 80, 80 times 5 makes, no, 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40, 40 times 5 is 200. And then here, I would have the 1 there, so it would just be 100. So 200 over 100 makes 2. But then I would also calculate versus total. Now, if you're in the test, you don't have to do this, obviously. It's extra time that you need. But to check my work, I would say, okay, but what would the total have been so that I know that I have enough on shelf or on the shelf to fill the order when the patient comes back in 5 days? And the total would be for 10 days. So I could do the calculation again. 10 times 4, 40. 40 times 2, 80. 80 times 5, 400 over 100 makes 4 bottles. Or I could just say, oh, if it's 5 days and I double that to 10, then 2 bottles doubles to 4 bottles. Either way, you get the answer. But that's how I think I would solve that one. And I think a mistake many students make when they start doing calculations is they think it's like the math they've done all their lives, which is, what's 3 plus 3 plus 4? Well, you take 3 and then add 3 and then 4, so you get 6 plus 4 is 10, and they're adding from left to right. With these calculations, you want to go from right to left. It makes it so much easier because they've already given you this gift of the units for the answer. So if you have the units for the answer, the only choice has to match in some way the units for the answer, and then that takes you backwards until you get the whole equation built from left to right, in which you would finally do the calculation. Thanks for listening to the Memorizing Pharmacology podcast. You can find episodes, cheat sheets, and more at memorizingpharm.com. Again, you can sign up for the email list at memorizingpharm.com to get your free suffixes cheat sheet, or find our mobile-friendly, self-paced online pharmacology review course at residency.teachable.com/p/mobile. Thanks again for listening.